In previous lecture, we were discussing about design of stator slots, and this is continuation of previous lecture on discussion about design of stator slots. We have seen what are the different shapes of stator slots used. Okay, let me brief about it because already I have discussed in detail in previous lecture. There are two types of slots are used. One is open type, another is semi-enclosed type. When open slots are used, the winding coils can be formed and insulated before they are inserted in the slots. And in case of semi-enclosed slots, coils must be taped and insulated after they are placed in the slot. Here in open slot, outside the machine, winding coils are formed, insulated, then they are dropped into the slots. In semi-enclosed slot, taping and insulation is done only after they are putting into the slots. In small motors, usually round conductors are used, and for round conductors, tapered slot with parallel sided tooth arrangement is preferred because this will give maximum slot area for a given flux density. Hence, bunch of conductors can be placed in this slot. So this figure shows how stator core is formed using n number of laminations of tapered slot with parallel sided tooth. In medium and large scale machines, strip conductors are preferred. And when strip conductors are preferred, parallel sided slots and tapered teeth are used. Then coming to number of stator slots, choice of number of slots. As I told, in case of design of induction motor, there are no definite rules to guide designer for selecting number of slots. However, some important factors serves as guideline. They are tooth pulsation loss, leakage reactance, ventilation, magnetizing current and iron loss, and cost. These factors are taken as guidelines to decide number of stator slots. And in previous lecture, already I have discussed first two factors in detail, that is tooth pulsation loss and leakage reactance. Next we will move on to third factor, that is ventilation. How ventilation of machine gets affected when designer go for large number of slots. The larger the number of slots for a given diameter, the smaller will be the slot pitch. Then what is slot pitch? It is center to center distance between two consecutive slots. And when more number of slots are chosen, slot pitch decrease. And once slot pitch decrease, that will reduce tooth width. Tooth width decrease. And there is one general rule. Width of the stator slot is about 1/2 of the slot pitch on the gap circumference. So designer must take this point into consideration while choosing large number of slots by seeing limitation of slot pitch. Okay. So with large number of slots, the thickness of teeth becomes smaller, and this teeth may become mechanical weak, and they have to be supported at the radial ventilating ducts by welding T or I sections. Here, when designer choose large number of slots, definitely slot pitch will be less, and with smaller slot pitch, tooth section becomes mechanically weak. And once tooth section becomes mechanically weak, it need to be reinforced mechanically. Then how to reinforce it? To reinforce this particular area, of tooth, usually either T or I sections are welded near that ventilating ducts. Whenever axial length of machine exceeds 10 to 12 centimeters, then fan cooling is not sufficient. And to improve ventilation, usually radial ventilating ducts are used. But here, what happens if T or I sections are welded to tooth section? What is effect of using T or I sections on cooling of the machine? So this statement clearly says to reinforce mechanically tooth section, if T or I sections are welded at radial ventilating ducts, then definitely this will obstruct the flow of air which flows through radial ventilating duct, that gets reduced because of these sections. Okay, and definitely this will impair the cooling. So when designer choose large number of slots, that will affect cooling effect of the machine. Next we'll move on to fourth factor for choice of number of slots, that is magnetizing current and iron loss. See, with large number of slots, teeth section is reduced. This already we have discussed. Therefore, the use of larger number of slots may result in excessive flux density in the teeth, and definitely this results into increase in magnetizing current as well as higher iron loss. Specific magnetic loading B average is given by P5 by pi dl. If teeth section decrease for given size of the machine, if area at teeth section decrease, then flux density will increase. If area decrease, flux density increase. And if flux density increase, what happens to losses? As per this equation, iron loss has two components. One is hysteresis loss and another is eddy current loss. And both these losses depends upon flux density. And with smaller teeth section, flux density will increase, and increase in flux density will increase both hysteresis as well as eddy current loss. There is some limitation to choose area of teeth section depending upon number of stator slots, slot pitch. Teeth section will be either small or large, and when teeth section becomes small, flux density at teeth will be more. And limitation while choosing flux density in the teeth section is it should be less than 1.3 Weber per meter square, and flux density in the core is 1.3 to 1.5 Weber per meter square. So here by seeing choice of large number of slots, if designer choose large number of slots, definitely magnetizing current as well as iron loss will increase. Next, coming to cost factor. With large number of slots, there are large number of coils to wind, insulate and install. This involves higher cost, even labor cost also. If designer choose large number of slots, then based on number of slots, more number of coils needs to be put, more number of slots needs to be insulated, with more number of slots, that installation cost also increase. Hence, overall cost will increase due to increase in large number of slots. Then, what is the good practice to choose number of slots? Here, it is good practice to use as many slots as economically possible. However, the number of slots per pole per phase Q should not be less than 2. If it becomes less than 2, what happens? Leakage reactance becomes high. In general, the number of slots should be selected to give an integral number of slots per pole per phase, and this slot pitch at the air gap surface for open type of slots should be between 15 to 25 mm, and for semi-enclosed slots, slot pitch may be less than 15 mm. Then what is stator slot pitch? So this slot pitch is denoted as YSS, and this is a ratio of gap surface to total number of stator slots. Gap surface is pi d. It's nothing but circumference. This divided by number of stator slots, SS, where SS is number of stator slots. Then total number of stator conductors. Say Z equal to 2T, and for three phase total number of stator conductors are 3 into 2 TS, that is 6 TS. Then conductors per slot, conductor per stator slots, ZSS is 6 TS divided by SS. This is nothing but total number of conductors divided by number of stator slots, that will give conductor per stator slot. The number of conductors per slot, it must be an even integer in case of double layer windings, because one half of the windings per slot belong to top layer and other half to the bottom layer. Next we will say how area of stator slots are chosen. When the number of conductor per slot has been obtained, the approximate area of slot can be calculated. Here area of each slot is copper area per slot to the space factor. Then what is space factor? It is ratio of copper area per slot to area of each slots, and this factor plays very important role depending upon terminal voltage of the machine. If induction motor is to be designed for high voltage, then thickness of insulation used for given slot area will be more, and if thickness of insulation increase, then actual area available to put conductor or volume of copper material decrease, and this will reduce choice of AC. Okay, therefore the space factor is low for high voltage machines compared to machines which are designed for low voltage purpose. Say once area is obtained, then how dimensions of slot is fixed. The tooth width and slot width at the gap surface should be approximately equal. Tooth width and slot width must be nearly equal. The slot should not be too wide to give thin tooth. This we have seen. The width of slot should be so adjusted that mean flux density in the tooth lies between 1.3 to 1.7 Weber per meter square. This we have seen how choice of flux density in teeth section limits depending upon magnetizing current and iron loss in the machine. The width of teeth should not be too large, as it gives narrow and deep slot, and if deeper the slot, the value of leakage reactance increase, and you know this affects some performance parameter of machine like overload capacity. And in general, the ratio of slot depth to slot width should be between 3 and 6. So to say this is width of the slot and this is depth of the slot. While deciding area of slot, depending upon number of slots and slot pitch, area of slot is fixed. Okay, but general rule is slot depth to slot width, this ratio is taken between 3 and 6. Okay, then let me take some concluding remarks regarding what are advantages of choosing large number of slots and what are disadvantages of choosing large number of slots. See, by considering number of slots, if designer choose higher number of slots, then what are the advantages of choosing higher number of slots? When designer choose large number of slots, you know tooth pulsation loss and noise in the machine decrease, and increase in number of slots reduce leakage flux, and reduction in leakage flux will reduce leakage reactance and hence overload capacity increase. These are advantage. Then disadvantage, it will obstruct flow of air then higher magnetizing current